Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Thiesel, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show, where truth matters. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday from 1 to 3 p.m. Central, as I get to ride home with you in the afternoon. It's always such a fun ride. It's always so good to be with you. Keep sending those emails. I really appreciate it. Any thoughts for the show, or you'd like me to do just a bit of research, I'll be glad to do that for you. Send an email to donna@donnasedge.com. You can find us on the radio, icradio.media. You can also find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications, Abundance Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget the podcast on thenewscasters.com. So I thought I'd poke a little fun. This is election year. And I just wanted to poke a little fun with my friends in the legislature. You know, there's folks who make the laws. And so I'm going to give you a list, and you're going to really get a kick out of these. These are laws that were passed years and years and years ago that are still out there. Okay, you can get arrested for some of these if somebody really got it in for you. So anyway, and they're not made up. I mean, it's just really cool. Like windshield wipers are required in Alabama. That's just kind of a gimme. We know that. But number one is you must have windshield wipers on your car. You must have them on there. I would rather see that than somebody with their hand out there on the windshield trying to wash off stuff. But anyway, with Alabama weather being as unpredictable as it is, you know, in Alabama, we can have 4 seasons in one day, sometimes half a day. But it is, you know, pretty important to have those windshield wipers on there, and you wouldn't want to be without them. I tell you that. Number two, you're going to love this one. You're really going to dig this one. Okay, in Mobile, it's illegal to spit orange peels onto the sidewalk. I'm kind of glad that is effaced right there, but just in case you ever wondered why the streets out there aren't littered with orange peels, that's why there's a law against it. This could be the reason. And we think we'd rather step on an orange peel than a banana peel any day, if you know what I mean. You ever watch the cartoons where Bugs Bunny slips on a banana peel and it just goes twirling up in the air? So I think the cartoons may have taught us that one. But anyway, let's keep going. We've got some good ones. Putting salt on a railroad track can be punishable by death. You could get the death sentence by putting salt on a railroad track. So that sounds like one of the weirdest laws in Alabama, but there's actually a reason behind it. Salt can attract cattle onto the tracks, and obviously that's not a good thing, so be sure to leave your salt at home. You know, you can, this may have been before the salt blocks, but salt, my granddad always had the salt blocks for his cows and his cattle and everything, so who knows, maybe that's the reason. This is a really unusual one. It's not saying where it is, and it's kind of disgusting. Maybe I can just show you the picture rather than, well, let's read it to you. Boogers must not be flicked into the wind. I dig that one too. Absolutely. Now, there's no really explanation about this one, but it says, ooh, maybe, okay, this is gross, disgusting. Let's move on to the next one. It's illegal to impersonate a priest in Alabama. Okay, well, there's Halloween costume idea that you can take that one off your list. You're not supposed to impersonate a priest. I think people do it anyway, but anyway, you're not supposed to do it. Okay, number 6 is illegal to wear a fake mustache in church. You want to know why? And I agree with this one. A fake mustache could cause laughter in church, and we don't need laughter in church. Okay, we got to be serious at least one place in our lifetime. But we're not really sure this wouldn't be, you know, one of the ones laughing. Yeah, I can see that. You got a fake mustache. Yeah. Okay, moving on. Let's go to number 7. In Mobile, this must be a recent one right here because they didn't have this one 100 years ago. Okay, so in Mobile, it's illegal to spray silly string. I don't. It's not saying anything else about any other town or city or state or anything. Okay, it's silly string. So what's wrong with having a little fun? Confetti. This is probably because of the events and things they have out there, but confetti is also illegal in Mobile. Even if you plan to sweep it up afterwards, you're not supposed to do that. Okay, let's get on to Montgomery. Montgomery, for you folks who are not from here. It's illegal to open an umbrella on the street. I guess I've got a question about that. What do you do when it's raining outside? I mean, you should be able to open up an umbrella, but it's another illegal thing in Alabama that seems strange. But it did make sense at one point in time. So let's find out what that is. The opening of an umbrella is very likely to spook horses. Oh, okay. So in a society without cars, it could have truly resulted in a disaster. So next time it rains, consider just wearing a rain jacket. I wonder if they had rain jackets back in those days. Okay, I kind of get this one because I think of people who go into a bank and their sole purpose is to rob the bank. I think this one might be okay. It's illegal to wear a mask in public. Of course, you know, back in the day of COVID, that was really remarkable. But anyway, Alabama was the first state in the Deep South to enact an anti-masking law, which took place in 1949. The law was designed to curb the Ku Klux Klan activity, but who'd known we'd still be debating masks 80 years later? Yeah, that was kind of it. Number 10, and I kind of dig this one. I think this is a good one right here. I think this one really needs to be enforced at full strength, okay? It's illegal to put an ice cream cone in your back pocket. I'm really having a hard time believing somebody would actually do that, but I mean, I say if you do it, go for it. You're going to have to be the one to clean up your own mess. But this is one of the oddest among the many funny laws in Alabama, and we're not really sure why you would actually want to do this. If it sounds quite messy, apparently it was once common to steal horses away from carriages by luring them with a strategically placed ice cream cone. So I kind of get that one, why they would be doing that one as well. Okay, now in Lee County, it's illegal to sell peanuts after sundown on Wednesdays. I wonder if it's got something to do with prayer meeting on Wednesdays. Let's check that one out. Okay, this one apparently is not in a law anymore, but it really has us scratching our head. Why just Wednesdays? And who angered the Lee County so much that they had to enact that one? I bet it had to do with going to church on Wednesday. They used to call it prayer meeting back in the olden days. I bet that's it. Okay, let's talk about number 12. It's legal to drive down a one-way street the wrong way as long as you have a lantern attached to the front of your vehicle. Now, what we've got to think about is back in the early days of early cars, they did not have headlights back in those days. So apparently they would put lanterns out there so they could drive at night. So let's read this one again. Okay, it's legal to drive down a one-way street the wrong way as long as you have a lantern attached to the front of your vehicle. So let's see what they say about this one. At that point, you're probably better off just turning your headlights on. Now, whoever wrote this didn't realize that back in the early days, there were no headlights. I think this is a good one right here. Bear wrestling matches are illegal. Okay, you should not wrestle with a bear. There goes our plans for the weekend there, Phil. Okay, number 14, dominoes must not be played on Sundays. Okay, so no bear wrestling and no dominoes. What are we supposed to do for fun on a Sunday? Well, what would happen if the state actually enforced some of their weirdest laws? There's some weird stuff that it seems weird to us, but back in the day, you would understand why they did this. Okay, number 15 sounds logical. It's illegal for someone to drive while blindfolded. I'm glad they put that one in there, but we're not really sure why someone would attempt to do this. But now that we think about it, it does explain the driving skills of some folks. Yeah, I kind of get that. Okay, number 16. In Mobile, bathing in city fountains is not allowed. So does that mean in other cities that have fountains, you can bathe in the city fountains? It doesn't say whether other towns did it, but in Mobile, they've outlawed it. Okay, maybe Mobile's a plain place. Okay, watching someone bathe in the local city fountain is not on the top of our to-do list. That's why we're really glad for this one. Okay, now, in Huntsville, number 17, in Huntsville, if an animal control officer is in uniform, it indicates to the public that he's a control officer. Okay, who would have thought that one? Yeah, it's kind of important. Okay, now, number 18, in Anniston, where I'm from, it's illegal to wear blue jeans while walking down Noble Street. Man, we'd all get arrested, wouldn't we? So the next time you got on denim, you might want to find an alternate route when you're walking. It's okay to wear blue jeans on any street in Anniston, and it's still on the books. It's illegal to wear blue jeans on any street in Anniston except for Noble Street. Noble Street, see, Anniston, Alabama used to be called the Model City. Well, I think it still is. That's what it was labeled. And I'm just going to have to tell you, when I was a kid growing up, it's almost as if you were in a city better than New York. They would go all out on Quintard Avenue. It was beautiful, and what they would do on every season. There were master gardeners out there who would actually get out there and volunteer and plant beautiful trees and flowers, and it was just beautiful going down down Quintard Avenue back in the day. And I'm glad they've kept a lot of that. Christmas, it would just be, that's what you would do on Christmas holiday season, beginning around Thanksgiving, and you would just drive up and down Quintard looking at all the beautiful, beautiful things. And another thing we would do, and this is back in the day too, around Christmas time was always awesome on Noble Street. You know the street where you can't wear blue jeans. But anyway, we would just do window shopping. You young folks are missing out on a lot of stuff, and it just felt so much like Christmas. And it was like every display window would try to outdo the other one. And I believe they did that in Gadsden too. So Gadsden and Anniston would always kind of try to outdo each other. You know what I mean? And so that was pretty cool back in the day. Let's go on ahead and go back into a commercial break, and we'll return in just a few minutes. Twin City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you. At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. Jeff McCurdy of the McCurdy Law Firm has been a public service of this area for over 10 years. McCurdy, a member of the Henniger City Council, serves as prosecutor for the town of Sylvania and was named public defender for the city of Rainsville. The McCurdy Law Firm is located at 17326 Alabama Highway 75 in Henniger to better represent his Jackson and DeKalb County clients. If you need to be represented by a true public servant with proven success, call Jeff at 256 996-8701 or send a private email to mccurdy.lawfirm@gmail.com. No representation is made that the legal services performed is greater than the legal services performed by other lawyers.
Are you ready?
We all wonder what tomorrow will bring, but the future lays itself at the feet of the prepared and surrenders to the will of the persistent. It's not easy, but today shapes you so you can shape tomorrow. With Northeast Alabama Community College, when the future asks if you're ready, you can answer.
Yes.
Begin your future at Northeast Alabama Community College.
Okay, we're back. My name is Donna, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show. Thank you so much for watching every day through Monday through Friday as I get to ride home with you. Now, this begins 1 p.m. on Central Time, so you folks who are living in other areas, we appreciate you watching and altering your time to watch this show is absolutely awesome. You can find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications and Abundance Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget our podcast, thenewscasters.com. Send an email anytime you want to. It's so awesome that you do that. Send an email to Donna at donnasedge.com. Definitely appreciate you doing that. This is something I saw was it's kind of a weird law in Alabama, but incestuous marriages are legitimate here in Alabama. This is not only one of the weirdest laws in Alabama, but it's also a source of quite a few negative stereotypes. I know you folks in other states what you say about us sometimes, but anyway. It's not true, at least most of the time. Okay, number 20. In case of a divorce, women are entitled to keep all of the property they owned before the marriage. However, this law does not apply to men. Okay, now men don't get mad at me about this law. I didn't make it up. That's just the way it is. Did you know that these weird laws in Alabama, they're pretty wacky, and they may not be enforced, but it's kind of ridiculous that some of them still exist. And there are quite a few of them. Now, it's not only the state of Alabama now. Some of you folks in other states have some weird laws out there, too. So I want to talk to you again, too, about some more fun. Now, these are fun facts in Alabama. And we want you to come and visit us, by the way. We'll cook for you, and we'll give you every kind of fried food we can think of possible. But anyway, we would love you to come down here and see us. But there's a lot of fun facts. But let me go ahead and mention this one. Alabama's official state beverage is the Conca Ridge Whiskey. I don't know when that came in effect, but Magnolia Springs is the only state in the country with an all-water mail route. Alabama was the first state to declare Christmas a legal holiday, which took place in 1936. Isn't that awesome? Okay, I want to give you, I know you're all these crazy laws, but now you go into your state of New York and California, and you're going to find some crazy ones out there as well. But you got to remember we were living in a different time back in the day, like the headlights one, the one where you can't put the lamps on the front of your car, or you can at night, that kind of thing. There were no headlights back then. They hadn't been invented, by the way. And by the way, it was a woman in Alabama who actually invented the windshield wipers. We got a lot of great stuff going on with us here, too. Now, 7 reasons why you should live in Alabama and why you shouldn't. Well, I think you should. We've got all kinds of beautiful scenery and things going on here, too. Each year, more and more people are moving to Alabama. A lot of it is very affordable, beautiful farmland. I mean, you can get it at a fraction. What we're living on right now, we bought my inheritance, so we bought the farm, and with 38 acres on it, in a big 2-acre pond out there, and we got 2 houses on it. One my grandparents lived in. We moved my mother into the other one. And if you bought this in, say, New York, I couldn't afford it in New York. Now, I don't want to live in New York because it's too cold and too icy and too weird out there, and that's why I'm living here. Now, the humidity I could do without, absolutely. And some of my relatives I could probably do without. But as far as living in Alabama, it's a good state, and it's very affordable. So let's find out why you want to live in Alabama. Okay, affordability And we're going to talk about that, I'm sure, on down the list. But you'll experience great Southern hospitality. Now, this is what you'll have to get used to, okay, because we're very friendly here. We're driving down the road. We're going to say hi to you as we're driving down the road. We go down the highway. We go down the Interstate 20, 59, all those interstates. We're going to like at you when we see you. So y'all probably wonder, when I come to Alabama and I see people going, there's a reason for it. We're just friendly. Okay, so reason not to, you have to get used to people waving at you while you're driving down country roads. Striking up a conversation with you no matter where you are and always holding your door open. Yeah, I mean, I'm a woman. I even open up doors for women. I mean, we do that here. And I can't think of that being a negativity. But anyway, I know how it is. I'll tell you what we did. One time, Phil and I went to a northern state. And we were checking out. We had some groceries. And so the lady at the counter was doing her thing. And she did a great job, man. By the way, she was fast. She had people in and out very fast. But I just said, hey, how are you doing today? Like that to her. And she just looked at me like she thought I was like insane. And then Phil and I went to New York one time. And we were coming in from the airport. We had this guy driving the taxi. And so I just said the same thing to him. I said, hey, how are you doing today? Like that. And he just started looking back at me like he thought I was crazy. It's like he couldn't wait to get us out of our hotel. Not very friendly. Okay, number 2 reason you might want to think about living in Alabama is you, my dear, are going to be surrounded by lots of natural, beautiful scenery. We've got waterfalls all over the place around here. Back in the day, people kind of wanted to keep it a secret, you know, want everybody kind of coming down here. But the reason not to, if you don't want to live here in Alabama because of all the beautiful scenery, we're going to spoil you. I mean, we're just going to spoil you with all those beautiful waterfalls, the mountains, the rivers, and the lakes. And we'll just spoil you for life, man. We sure will. Going into Gadsden, so you got the mountains up there on Sand Mountain. And then you get down there to Gadsden, and you got all that beautiful water out there around Rainbow City, out there close to the Gadsden Mall. That's the reason you might want to move down here and join us. Okay, let's talk about another one. The reason to live in Alabama, number 3, is you'll get to sample all types of food. I mean all of it. There's a lot of it. And the reason not to, with such a variety of food served here in Alabama, you'll likely pack on the pounds because it's so delicious. And everybody's grandma's going to want to feed you. And also everybody's grandma's going to get mad at you if you don't stay and eat. You may have just come by just to deliver the mail. We may say something like, come on in, son, let's eat something. You've been starving all day, haven't you? Been working really hard out there. We just do things like that. Okay, now reason to live in Alabama, number 4, you get to experience several outdoor recreational opportunities like hiking, fishing, camping. And man, we love doing all that stuff. Now, reason not to, because such a variety of Alabama's fun activities are outdoors, you'll never want to go back in again. If you could see my house, you would totally understand. Okay, outside they say is a paradise around here, but inside's not such a paradise. It's because I love being outside much more. Okay, and most of us are that way. You may have to find a pathway to get around. But anyway, reason to live in Alabama, number 5. You'll have several chances to experience Alabama's beautiful Gulf Coast beaches. We like to say Alabama very much like North Carolina. You've got the beaches on one side and you've got the mountains on the other side. So if you get tired of one, stay in the state. Just go to the other side. Reason not to. After moving to Alabama to visit its Gulf Coast beaches won't feel much like a vacation anymore because you already live it, okay? So it's already there. Reason to live in Alabama, number 6, is you will encounter lots of beautiful wildlife. I mean, you will. We have so many varieties of birds and butterflies, even different varieties of bees. And you'll just be amazed at what you're going to find. Reason not to move here because of that. Some wildlife encounters you'll occur when you least expect them. Yeah, like our bears. Okay, number 7. Reason to live in Alabama, number 7, because it's great southern hospitality, beautiful scenery, and delicious food. Alabama truly is a wonderful place to call home. Reason not to is no other place will compare. I'm going to argue with that one. North Carolina and South Carolina and Tennessee and Georgia Mississippi, Kentucky, they're the same way. Yeah, we'll just hug you. We'll just love you when you come into our states. Okay, let's see if we've got time for another one. Um, I want to tell you about the natural wonders of everywhere, because I mean I like every state in the union. I pick on New York and California, but I've got some great friends in the states. But let's talk about um, National Park Week. April the 20th through the 28th. We're just kind of skating by on that one, but every April, the presidentially proclaimed celebration run by the National Park Service and the National Park Foundation encourages Americans to explore breathtaking places. It's in your state too. We don't have it all. I mean, you're all over the place. So check out your national park. So what is National Park Week? And I've got just a minute to talk about that. We celebrate the natural wonders that are found within our national parks year-round in all of our states. But National Park Week is a time to celebrate the natural beauty of our natural parks and show our appreciation to the National Park Service and the Department of Interior, as well as commit to protecting these incredible places. I wanted to mention something else, and this is also pertaining to the state of Alabama. And I mean, I'm surrounded by the natural beauty. Okay, I'm in DeKalb County. We got so many waterfalls. I'm right down there in Etowah County. Beautiful waterfalls. You got Nokalula State Falls. Over in Jackson County, I mean, Crystal Cathedral. I mean, just all kinds of wonderful, wonderful places to go down there as well. But you're just never going to find a more beautiful place. And it's not just in North Alabama. As you're heading down South Alabama, you're going to see all these wonderful places as well. But we're not hogging it all. I mean, other states also have wonderful, beautiful places as well. But go out and enjoy it. For the most part, most of them are free. You just need to do a little bit of research. Go out there and take the family. There's a app that you can get. It's called Picture This. And I'll tell you a fun thing to do with the kids. Download the app. I think you pay about $30 for the entire year, and it is the best $30 you'll ever spend with your kids. You get them to understand nature. So when you're walking out in the park, you can see a beautiful tree or maybe a beautiful flower. And all you have to do is click, take a picture of it. You got to make sure that it coinheres with your camera phone. And you'll see the picture of the flower. To give you an idea, there was one that I did just a few weeks ago, just out here in our land, and that I thought was pretty awesome. And let's let it pull up so you can see what it is, and then I'll let you go. I know all of us have a lot to do today, and you can have your own garden there. So let's see, where is that thing at? Okay, here it is. It's the eastern hemlock. So Phil, I'm keeping you away from that one, the eastern hemlock. Well, you stay away from the bush. That's where Socrates had poisoned by hemlock. It was the bush, not the tree. But the tree is fascinating, and it has these tiny, tiny, tiny little pine cones on it. I'll show you if you can see that right there. It has these tiny little pine cones on it. And also, I mean, it looks like a pine tree, but it's big now. They've got two of them, so it's huge, huge, huge. But in the wintertime or summertime when you have the flu, this is one of the best things you can do for the flu. And what you might want to do is tincture it or put it in olive oil and just, make a tincture out of it is the best way I can say to do it. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. My name is Donna, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show. Thank you so much for watching us every day, Monday through Friday. Sometimes we have fun shows, and sometimes we got the serious shows. Got to really dig in there and get some information. Please send in emails. Continue to do that. I love it. You can send an email to Donna@donnasedge.com. That's Donna@donnasedge.com. Thank you so much for watching.